Hello, my name is Professor Adam Winstock. I'm a consultant psychiatrist, addiction medicine specialist, and founder of the Global Drug Survey. In this video, I want to think about what are the risk factors to becoming dependent on alcohol. Because clearly, most people drink, but most people don't become dependent. The lifetime rate of alcohol dependence globally sits at around 5 to 10%. It's generally higher in men and lower in women. It's obviously also lower in those countries where alcohol is prohibited for either societal or religious reasons. In terms of the things that make people more at risk of developing alcohol dependence, about 30 to 40% of that risk, that heritability, is in your genes. That translates into you being at probably about a 2.5-fold increased risk of developing alcohol dependence if you have a first-degree relative, a mum, a dad, a brother or sister who has alcohol dependence. Beyond that, the things that are going to influence whether or not you develop dependence on alcohol are things like your personal life experience. So we know that forms of childhood adversity like trauma, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, other sorts of adversity, and childhood psychiatric illness can increase people's risk. As an adult, having most forms of psychiatric disorder, whether it's depression, anxiety, or particularly PTSD, those things also increase your risk of developing alcohol dependence, perhaps because initially alcohol is being seen as a coping mechanism. Beyond that, the other things that we know that increase your risk are occupation. So if you work in the hospitality industry, if you're surrounded by booze all day, if you work in the media, if you're a journalist, if you're a dentist, or if you're in the medical profession, all of these things we know increase your risk. Where we also get higher rates of alcohol abuse, often in conjunction with PTSD, are those people who have worked in the police force and in the military. Other things that need to be taken into account are things like the cost and availability of alcohol. Where we have countries that have got very high-priced alcohol and very limited availability, you tend to get lower levels of consumption. That's one of the reasons that governments and regulators need to look at very simple things to reduce population-based consumption. Things like increased taxation, minimum pricing, reducing opening hours, reducing outlet density. All of those things can make a difference. If you're someone who's already had a dependence on another drug, for example, benzodiazepines or opiates, you're also at increased risk of developing alcohol dependence. And there also seems to be a particular relationship between alcohol and cocaine dependence. So, in summary, part of your risk you're born with and you can't do anything about it. Part of it is your life experience, some of which might be outside your control. But the rest of it's pretty much located in choices about what you do with your life and where you live. I guess the important thing is alcohol dependence is a psychiatric disorder. People never start drinking thinking they will become alcohol dependent. And of all psychiatric diagnoses, it's the one with the biggest treatment gap. Only 8% of people with alcohol dependence are in treatment. That means there's lots of people out there who are drinking too much, they develop dependence, it's being bad for their health. And if only they would seek treatment or would reduce their drinking, the quality of their life, and in fact how long they're going to live and the quality of their relationships would be so much better.